Yo, people, what's going on? We're back again with the TBH podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, it's your boy Michael.
Yo, my name's Shaq, bro. Big up yourselves.
And then you got Reggie, like, hey, the gang them, the boys. I'm gonna have to wheel that one back still. Right, come, let's go again. I'm dying. Right, 3, 2, 1. Yes, people, what's going on? We're back again. It's the TBH podcast. I'm in the building with my boy
Shaq. Welcome, people.
Tell him again. What I'm going for my boy.
Oh, is it me? The signal, bro. Do you know what? It looked like you, because when you're doing that, up there, it's that Shaq, and then you're doing.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Just let us know who you're pointing up to. Point at me first, then Fred next, yeah?
All right, cool. My bad.
For clarification, it's going to go with Shaq, then it's going to go with Smiley.
Cool.
All right, yeah?
All right, cool.
God damn. Right. Cool. Yo, people, what's going on? It's your boy Michael. We're back in the building with the TBH podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, let me introduce you to the man then. We've got my boy.
Yes, bruv. It's Shaq, a.k.a. Django Jr. in the building. Big up yourselves.
And who else we got?
Fred Smiley. You know how it is.
Fred Smiley.
Yes.
All right, so people.
We got
we got
3 takes.
We got some. 3 takes so quickly back to Lin-Manuel about, I feel like me personally, growing up trying to do this acting thing and trying to do this performing thing, it was always a case of me trying to fit in, or us trying to fit in. Well, let me just speak for myself, but me trying to fit in into shows and seeing where I can bring myself to characters. I think the introduction of Lin-Manuel Miranda into our industry, from In the Heights to Hamilton to, I think he did the 22 Jump Street as well. He did.
He's also done. He also did Bring It On as well. He wrote some Bring It On.
I feel like him coming into our industry has now changed everything. So many people want to add like rap, and so many people want to add different like electric music into performances, and people want to add, different kind of things. So I feel
it should happen, man.
Yeah,
I just have to.
He's changed it up.
I just have to say, I forgot about Bring It On. He sits so comfortably in Elite, bro. I'm cutting that, bro. Ignore what I said. He sits in Elite. He sits in Elite. Like there's no second. If you listen to some of the raps in Bring It On,
I haven't listened to it. That's good.
Sit through that soundtrack. It's not all him. It's not all the music is him, but he does a lot of the stuff. I think he does most of like the good ensemble numbers in that soundtrack, bruh. I forgot some of the stuff he wrote in that show, bro. Proper good. Yeah, he's elite. But what you were just saying then about Lin-Manuel and the fact that he's opened up a new, I feel like it's more of a case for what's happening in like Broadway and stuff. Obviously, we had what was it that was going to open? It was like a garage opera or something like that. That was going to open. It was Charles Randolph Wright who directed Motown. He was doing it. But
House Opera, I think it's
called. Why go on for the ethnic writers? Why are we not getting more shows like that coming up from the UK?
They need opportunities. That's the thing. It's just getting a foot in the door. A lot of people don't want to bank on a black writer. They think, I don't want to take that risk.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
But people sometimes took a risk on Lin-Manuel. We just need someone to take the risk.
Do you know what it is? I think that's very much more so. I think that's the case in general, but I think that's more so the case in musical theatre, because with black plays, there are quite a few plays that I've seen that have been directed and written by black writers. I think in the play industry, in the UK, there's quite not a great representation, but there's enough of a representation that I can go and see a play written by a black playwright or directed by a black director or that kind of thing in London. However, musical theatre, musical theatre is different.
They just want to recycle the same ones.
There ain't one.
The same ones. It's boring.
It's. I think it literally goes down to what you said, Fred. It's just the fact that I don't think that many people are willing to put money behind an ethnic person, a show written by an ethnic person that is about ethnic people. Because I think that the way they see it from a business standpoint, the people going to the theatres are white because the upper class and like the upper middle class are the only ones who can buy tickets.
It,
and it's very rare to find someone from a different demographic in them positions. Of course, there are people like that, and there are loads of black people do go to the theatre. But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, you look at it in terms of the ratio, there's a lot more white people going to the theatre. We were talking about Motown. We were talking about Motown. That's a black show about black music. Like you said, we used to point out when we saw a black person in the audience because it was just so, that shouldn't be the case. So I think I think it's kind of like protecting their investments instead of like going, oh, let's put money on something. Even if they believe in it, they might not necessarily think that, people are gonna come and watch this show because there's nothing, because the majority of people that watch theatre are not going to be able to relate to it. The only way to fix that is to make theatre more accessible for people. I was tweeting the other day about setting up schemes for people. Like there should be, every theatre should have a scheme for schools, so that schools can always come from any place. And maybe it should be like the catchment area, like this is that certain class, so the prices get dropped down a bit for certain people and all that. Yeah. But
no, you man, I swear down, like, no, it's funny. Like, I was having a conversation with my drama teacher, my old drama teacher from school, and we still keep in contact in that. And we were having a conversation about it. It started from talking about Hamilton, but we started talking about other stuff. And we're just talking about the exact same thing you're saying now. I, being Nigerian, being African, bro, the theatre. What is the theatre, bro? My rent ain't taking me to the theatre.
What's theatre in a house, bro?
Theatre what? DVD and that, sit in the yard and church and all of that. Do you know what I mean? I didn't go to the theatre for the first time until I was at least 17 years old, 17, 18. And I went to go see Les Mis at Milton Keynes Theatre, and that was part of a school trip. Do you know what I mean? So that wasn't 14, even. Yeah. So I mean, and that wasn't even part of my family. That was a school trip, and I'm not even going to use race because there were people in my class that were white people that hadn't been to the theatre until that age as well. So I feel like
it's a class thing. It's a class thing.
It's absolutely
a class thing. Yeah, it's a class thing.
But
it's crazy.
It just so happens.
Like you said, it should be a lot more accessible to everyone, and it shouldn't. I feel like there are so many young people out there that are so interested but don't know how to get in the door. For example, big up Milton Keynes Theatre because they have a youth theatre every year. Different age groups from young to at least you're 18, and I went there for a year and a half before I went off to drama school. And it's like every Wednesday, and you go there, you get taught by someone from, my teacher was from Lipper, and you just learn bare different things, activities and games and that, and it's just getting one foot in the door. And I feel like that is the hardest thing for not just young black kids, but young, lower class, working class kids that want to get into theatre, because it just seems so. I remember even having a conversation at Mount View with one of my voice teachers, and she was saying how, like, look, the unfortunate reality is that this industry you're stepping into, I was in second year. She was like, the industry you're about to step into is controlled by upper class and middle class white people. They have the money, they make the decisions. And she goes, as you're about to graduate into this industry, you just need to know that you got to conduct yourself a particular kind of way because these people have a certain type of view about someone who looks like you. Do you know what I mean? And at that time, that translated to my head as like, raw. Why should man be different and that because man wants to be in theatre? Man should But I get what she was saying. She was more coming on the point of, look, really and truly, bro, like, you're just part of a cast for them people there. Do you know what I mean? You're part of the show. There's no one that looks like you that is casting you or even producing it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them ones where we need to make it more accessible from early, man. Bro, panto. Do you know how many people go panto from early? Or you have been in pantos from early, bro? Like,
what I think is just that people like us, people like John Bayer, all them sort of guys that do theatre and film, where we are showing people from the young generation, you can do it, we can do it. So younger people seeing that, and their parents that may be strict Africans, strict Caribbeans, or whatever, strict Asians, they'll see them like, okay, guys, these guys are doing successful things. Okay, maybe you can forge your career in theatre. We are showing that you can be successful in it. So I think when more and more generations see that, things will change. But like you said, we need diversity teams in every single theatre. We need diversity teams that goes out to these neighborhoods and performs in schools. Just invites them to the theatre, and that's what we need. Because I remember being in school in East London when we had I had Emil Amin. He came to do a play. It was like a prison play, and he came. I didn't know it was Emil Amin until he came to do a play. It was like a set in a prison.
Mad. That's sick.
And then we had like a Q&A with him after. I was in year 7 or 8. And he came and it was like 3 guys, and they were doing a touring production. That's how it started. And then like for a couple of years,
doing TIE, you know.
Exactly. Kidulthood, and then before you know, like man's blowing all in Hollywood now. So that just shows you that
mad.
I saw that, but that's because my school allowed that to happen. But
yeah,
you know, it all depends on the school and also parents as well being more accessible to theatre.
You're absolutely right.
It needs a class thing.
I think it's this is another reason why people should be backing Black Pound Day so much, because this is an opportunity where you can kind of boost these. There probably are many like ethnic companies that want to be built up to a level where they can produce their shows on a big scale. So this is the kind of time where the Black economy, we could do with boosting that economy, because then maybe we'll be getting producers and being casted by people who look like us as well. And that means that maybe more people will come that look like us to watch the show based off people that look like them. I think the hardest thing I found growing up in theatre was like, because I've lived a bit slightly different to like Michael, where like I was introduced to theatre quite young. It might be because I'm from Oxford, just the area and stuff, like, so like schools, that's like a regular school trip, is to go to the Panto every year. I remember the first time I watched Panto and I was like, this is mad. And like that opened my mind up to everything. And like, so like I've always been involved in theatre from like 10 years old while I was doing The Lion King, and I kind of went, this is what I was going to do from now on. It's always going to be this way. So for me, it took a lot for me to kind of, it took me going to get into shows like Hairspray and Motown, where I realized that like a lot of people don't get to see this, you know, like a lot of people that look like me don't get to see this. And like, I guess because I was a stagey kid and I went to stagecoach and stuff, I didn't really have that thought of things like that. There's these things that didn't go into my head. But when I got older and I saw like people like Dex Lee getting Danny Zuko and stuff, where that would have been like sacrilege about fucking 20 years prior to that, and just seeing how that's what inspired me. And then I went even further into it. I was like, it's not just about representation in roles that have not been classified as being Black for however long since they've been written. It's also about just getting these people on stage, because who's to say that like that one little kid who thought, oh, I quite like theatre, and then looked up and watched this show, and then watches another show and goes, none of these people look like me. So
exactly, it's all about representation.
Yeah, and that's all.
Let me tell you about a funny story. So this was like one of the first. I did drama in year 8, obviously, because it was compulsory, innit? Man did Oliver Twist and that, but it was never something I wanted to take seriously. I was like, raw, man just have to do that, innit? Quick Artful Dodger and them things there, do you know what I mean? But after that, man was all this.
Yo, Artful Dodger, man, like, consider yourself. Hey,
you know what I mean?
Part of the furniture.
And the lady that was playing Nancy and that I had to do the dance thing with, she was a couple years older than man, so I was gassed. I was thinking, yeah, man's doing drama with an older gal as well. I was feeling it. Gassed. But apart from that, apart from that one show in year 8, I've just been a sport youth. I've been about sports, football, basketball. And I remember doing my first proper, like, I performed at MK Theatre when I was like, in 6th form time. So maybe like 17. Around the same time that I went to the theatre for the first time. And flipping, I invited my man them. Yeah, it's what happens. I invited my close man them, and like, yo, man, your boy's doing a show. Like, okay, cool. But anyway, these men have the same similar upbringing to me. So them man ain't really been theatre growing up. They're not really, they're no bats, not ever. But I'm telling you now, this is not a joke. I'm not telling this story for entertainment purposes. This is real life shit. This happened, didn't it? So these men are watching my show now, yeah. Interval comes. One of my boys leaves in the interval and sits in the whip. And then we don't see him again till the end of the show. The show finishes now. I'm like, oh man, what did you think? He was like, yeah, man, it was calm. It was bare short though. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, after that break, yeah. I was like, where were you, bro? You took bare long to come out. I was like, bro, that was the interview. I was like, bro, that was the interview. He was like, what? Bro, there was more after that. I was like, yeah. After that break, you come back into your seat, yeah, and then flip in. Hop in the musical, watch the rest of the show. He was like, raw, man didn't even know. Still, I was like, raw, bro. He's like, no, but the first half of my watch was sick.
Yeah. That is funny.
Like,
that is funny, bro.
But for me, stuff like that, I just find that so funny and like it's just interesting, innit? Like, and then from then on, the same group of man that my boys have come to see me and other stuff and like, do you know what I mean? Like, as I'm learning and I'm getting more educated about it, so they. So I'm like, yo, you man, turn off your phones and that, or you man, you can't be talking bare through. You can't like vocalize stuff like, bro. That same first theatre trip I went to, no, the second one. So the first show I watched was Les Mis. The second show I watched was Miss Saigon. the second one, I'm with my boy, and we're watching it, and these times here, we don't know nothing about theatre etiquette. We're just in a massive building just watching the show. So stuff's going on stage now, and me and my boy are like, raw, that's mad, you know, we're just bare talking out loud, innit? And my teacher was like, yo, like, stop, like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Oh, no, it wasn't Miss Saigon, it was Fame. I watched Fame, that's what happened, And at the end of it, Mega Mix, where they get everyone to join in and that. And I was just making noise, going off and that. And all like,
man, I thought he was watching Kidderhood, you know.
But,
man thought it was a real life rave.
You guys can't, you know, you don't make noise like that in the theatre. And I was like, oh, rah. And there's all these little experiences that some people may have known prior if they've grown up in that or whatever, but we had to learn as we got older. And I just feel like there's nothing wrong with discovering it at different times, as long as you do learn that. But I just feel like it should be accessible to people from early, man. Like, as an option, I'm not saying compulsory, but do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to go check that, like, I would have loved my parents to take me to the theatre. The way I like theatre now, maybe as a youth, I might have not rated it, but who knows, bro? Like, it would have been nice to at least see a couple of things.
100%. At least we know when we have kids and stuff, if we want kids or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I mean, we'll take them to the theatre, you know what I mean?
We're a whole generation of young black performers. It's gonna it will expand and expand and expand. What the tricky bit is whether or not that while we expand, will the producers and the casting directors allow more of us on stage at the same time? So it's
true. Not that 1 minute. I think there's a little change coming. I think there's change. There's definitely change coming. This year has been not only been mad because of COVID and everything that's happened and mad, like, loads of random deaths, but with the movement Black Lives Matter and just like that, it's really brought change. It's really made people. I've never thought a movement will go on this long, but I have no choice now. You can't say I can't find anyone. Not this process where you're auditioning for certain shows and it's 4-month process because they can't find enough black people. Don't piss me off. There's loads of us. There's loads of us.
You can't make that excuse no more. You can't make excuses no more. We just watched Turn Up London. We just watched Turn Up London. You can't say that to us.
There we go.
Man.
That's fighting.
I remember thinking at a point, that because I remember someone asking me, what shows do you want to be in? And I remember thinking that I could only be in, at this time, there was like Lion King. This is the same time I watched Memphis. There was Lion King, Memphis. What else was there?
That's it there, bro. In 2015.
I think, I think that might be it.
But what, you can't play the dad at that time or Lola.
So someone asked me, oh, what do you see yourself being in? And I was like, oh, well, right now I see the Lion King on Memphis, really. I was like, I don't really see myself being in anything else. They were like, oh, okay. I was like, you feel awkward now, innit?
It's awkward though, innit? Because when in college or during the day, like, oh, Fred, you could be Lion King. You know when people always do the casting for you. You know when like your year group do that. Like, what can you be? And they would just list all the things they want to be.
Do it all the time. Like, people do that now. People
it's boring, isn't it? People.
Bro, I've had about 3-4 messages since Hamilton dropped of people going, oh yeah, you'd be sick in that. I'm sick of it. When I went to the audition, they said they weren't good enough. So don't leave it there, sir. So don't. Live it there.
He's off.
Let me be sad in peace.
So don't give a Shaq false hope, you know. I don't know.
This is the problem, People like to gas you up, and make you think you're sick, So you go out to the big wide world thinking you're sick because everyone who's like trying to like say what you want to like fire up your ass, make you feel like you're good, will say what you want to hear. Don't listen to them lot, Listen to your real friends who go.
This is the real people.
I couldn't even see you as a Hamilton, you know. That's a real friend, bro. That's a real friend. I've had that before. So yeah. So rated the real friends.
So guys, this section we're looking at artists, we're looking at rappers specifically. Since we've been talking about Hamilton and Lin-Manuel and tier lists, we decided to look at some rappers. And this week we're not gonna compare and contrast albums. What we're gonna do, we're gonna suggest to you guys 3 songs or 3 bodies of work or 3 anything from the rapper that we all love. I suggest them to you guys that we think you should listen to. I mean, that we think would be impactful in your lives, or that just bang, or just get you grooving, or I mean. So yeah, let's go. Let's run it.
Shall I go first?
I don't mind going first because my knowledge of rap is dead out.
Go on, bro.
So who I've picked, young up and coming, I think that's what we're talking about, wasn't it? For me, Roddy Ricch, the Roddy Ricch album. Roddy Ricch.
Oh, I like that.
I was vibing with it, The box, you got Perfect Time, you got Big Sleeper, Big Stepper, I meant to say. You got High Fashion. and you got Backseat, and then I like the one that he's featured in it, you know, with the baby Rockstar. I think he brings like them. But obviously lyrically, I won't say he's amazing.
But it's a different category of rap as well. I mean,
yeah, there we go.
It's that new style where like it's kind of the beat as well as the sound of my voice that you're vibing off. So yeah. And I would say Roddy Ricch and maybe The Baby, the first two rappers that I've listened to of that style. That I was like,
it's like a bop, innit?
The Baby is disgustingly, bro. He's so sick.
Honestly.
Yeah,
man. That's what I got to say on that.
That's all it. Cool. Wow. All right. So me, he's not really new. I saw him in concert in 2016 in Birmingham. It's Anderson .Paak, and this guy for me. So when I saw him in concert, my man was on stage, behind the drum kit, shelling it on the drum kit, rhythms, not basic rhythms. He's shelling it with complicated rhythm, compound timing and that, and spitting bars fluently. I was blown away. But anyway, 3 tracks. So recently he's dropped a track called Lockdown to talk about the current situations of being in lockdown and the Black Lives Matter movement and that kind of thing. And that song, when that song drops, do you know, like PSA, public service announcement, listen to it with headphones and speakers. Don't listen to it like this because iPhone don't do it justice.
Listen, that's a general rule. If you're listening to hip hop and R&B, put on speakers. I can't speak for the other genres. I don't listen to them too tough. But put on your headphones, put on your speakers when you're listening to, especially for the first time. Speakers. Because
that will change the way you feel the song. I swear, I promise you now. Like certain songs will hit you differently because when you write songs, bass and like instruments are there for a reason for you to be heard, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So if you don't listen to it through this. Anyway, so 100%. Lockdown by Anderson .Paak. He's got a tune called RNP, which he features on with a YBN called Day. That tune there, I just like it because it's a groove. It'll make you feel good about yourself. Language is a little bit explicit, so if you're sensitive, don't listen to that. But that's a whole
podcast, bro. That's the podcast, bro. If you're sensitive, don't listen to this podcast. But yeah,
and that make it better as well. Smokey Robinson.
Yeah. Big tune, make it better. Yeah. I will say I'm a massive fan of Anderson .Paak as well. Like Michael, I remember when he dropped like 2 albums during our time in Motown. He dropped Ventura and Oxnard. Yeah. And that Oxnard album is insane. Ventura won a Grammy. I think they got a Grammy for that album. But he's insane. He's insanely talented. Like he plays everything, and he's just a mad talent.
You know what you were saying about Daveed Diggs being a rap head, so it showed when he was performing. It's the same thing with Anderson .Paak because he's actually a musician and actually plays a lot of instruments.
Exactly.
It comes through in his music.
Feel it,
Bro, it's so specific. Everything is done with a meaning and with a purpose, bro. It's incredible. It's different to someone getting a producer, sending you a beat and jumping on it. Do you know what I mean? It's so,
There's something very special about when you produce your own stuff and you rap on it as well. You can hear it in like, even though this is not the person I'm bringing up, you hear it in the D-Smoke and the Anderson .Paak. When they produce their own music, you can literally, I think even more so of Anderson .Paak, when you hear him like rapping, you can hear that he's actually really enjoying the music. He's in it. Like, he's like, oh, yes, Lord! He's all in it, bro. Right, my rapper, he's not young, but he is relatively quite new for about the last 2-3 years. It's a guy called J.I.D. He's from East Atlanta. He was signed by J. Cole onto his big Dreamville label. I would say he's kind of a mix between, it's like if Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar had a baby, and the baby had Lil Wayne's flow, as well as this kind of unorthodox style of Kendrick Lamar, where you like don't really know where the next flow is coming from. The cadence is so different, and the rhyming ability of a Kendrick Lamar, or like a very like, I wouldn't want to say Eminem yet, but he's on that level of just like his rhyming patterns are insane. The way his head works, I've honestly never heard a rapper like him, and that's me saying that as like someone who like listened to Tupac, Biggie, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg. Like I listen to rap. That's all I do really. And J.I.D., I've never heard anything like him. He's so. The way he puts a rhyme together, you don't know where it's going. It's like it doesn't matter what beat you give him, he brings a beat to life. The albums, I would say, go and listen to. I'll give you the albums. He's got two solo albums. and I'll give you tracks of both of those albums to listen to. So the first one is The Never Story. A track to listen to that is track 3, Never. The track is called Never, and it starts one way, and then the beat changes, and he does something else completely, and it's the maddest rap I've ever heard. The maddest. When I heard it, that's the first time I was introduced to this person. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And so yeah, nuts. It's got a bit more of a slowed down one called All Bad with a featuring a singer called Mariba, and 8701 featuring Black as well. He's got another track like that called that. And then his most recent one that came out in 2018, it's called DiCaprio 2. It's called DiCaprio because I think one of his idols is Leonardo DiCaprio, based off his work ethic, basically, just because of how hard he grinds and stuff, and is very rarely is he rewarded with like Oscars and awards and stuff. That's why he's called it that. So one track to listen to from there is called Off D's. It features J. Cole. And when I say I've never heard J. Cole rap to that level, as long as I've listened to J. Cole, this is what I'm saying about J. Cole will only show up to rap when artists that are different level. And I would actually honestly say, as good as JID is on that track, J. Cole eats him. Because J. Cole doesn't usually get an opportunity to rap with another rapper as good as him. He just makes, all his albums are solo albums. He doesn't have it featured on his albums. But yeah, so Off These, also listen to, what's the song I really like? I really like Off the Zoinkies. He talks about like his kind of friends and their like battles with like drugs and addiction and all that stuff. And Working Out. I listen to Working Out. Go on Colours on YouTube and watch him sing and Working Out. Colours, he's on a Juventus t-shirt in all purple, and yeah, he's insane. So yeah, JID. Also honourable shout out to D Smoke as well, because if you know me, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Hey, do you know what? Levels. Music aside, yeah, I just rate D Smoke so much, and I'll tell you why. Because he's a teacher. I feel like someone like him, having like a teacher that's also a rapper, it just opens up. Imagine being a kid in year 9 and your Spanish teacher is also a rapper, and he teaches music as well. It just opens up your mind to so many things. Like, in life, I can be anything I want.
Anything
Do you know what I mean?
Anything.
Especially if you're a young black kid, you're like, oh my God, this black guy from America, it's not a celebrity. He's just my teacher, and he's managing to do all these kind of amazing things. Like, I just rate him so much as well. And he's amazing as well.
He's so good. So good. Oh, everyone listen to Black Habits by D Smoke. That came out in their America's Black History Month, which was February this year, isn't it? Come out this year, rah! I'm listening to that again as soon as I literally get off this video. But yeah, that's our music topic for this week, bro.
The tune Gasper Yanga with Snoop Dogg.
Gasper Yanga. Black Habits 2 with the piano. Listen, if you want to listen to good music, proper good music, in not just rap, but music, D Smoke, Anderson .Paak. Yeah. D Smoke, Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars. That's good music. That's good music.
Oh, that's the concert I saw Anderson .Paak at. He was opening for Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars,
exactly.
Bro, Fred, when I tell you Bruno Mars is too underrated, bro. These people
really is, isn't he?
Bro, this man loves Bruno, you know. Yeah.
Bruno's that guy though. Bruno, I need to see him live. That's the guy I want to see live.
That guy. Yeah, but anyway, let me not get into that. I'll just start waffling, bro. All right, guys. So this has been episode 3 of the TBH podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share that. Like we said earlier, if you don't do that, we know who you are. Don't worry.
If you watch 3 seconds of this video and you don't share it, waste, man. As simple as that.
Also, shout out to the new subscribers as well.
Yeah, big up the new subscribers. Big up all the people that are sharing it as well on social media. People that there are people I haven't spoken to in ages that are sharing these things, and I'm not even fathoming the idea of these people watching it. So yeah, big up the subscribers, the sharers, and all the support that we're getting so far. Big love, man.
Yeah, peace and love, people. Thank you so much.
Yo,
wow,
we out.